So, did you have a nice long day?
Yeah, it was very long. I'm like sleep. I want to go to sleep.
Let's knock this out, man.
Yeah, let's do this. Welcome everybody to another edition of your Impact Attack here on podbean.com/Hameen Media Group. Yeah, I said that right. I think that's right. Yeah, that's it.
What? Really?
Podbean. No, not Podbean. Ah, fuck. See, I didn't say it right. That's why I said it all skeptical.
You can
Patreon.com.
completely cut this and just do
Yeah,
the.
we're live. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'll do it live, pal. I'll do it live.
No one's here yet. They didn't see it.
No, there's
You
one
could.
person watching, or is that just you in the
That's just
chat?
me. Just start over.
Okay,
Just start over.
start
Do the whole
over.
thing over.
Uh, welcome everybody to another edition of your Impact Attack. It is I, Colin Wysong, here on patreon.com/Hameen Media Group.
There we go.
No, this isn't the second take of me doing that. And if
What do I mean? There we go.
what do you mean?
got it.
What do you
I was
mean,
just
you
saying
people?
because he always gets it right the first time. One take, Colin. One take,
Producer.
intellectual moose. That's what we call him here.
Producer of the year.
That's right.
What did you just say to me?
That's right, Hameen. I said producer of the year. That's another edition of your Impact Attack here on patreon.com/Hameen Media Group. And it is like 2:30 in the morning on July 5th. We are going live. People are probably like, what the hell is going on with my notifications blowing up that the Hameen Media
If they're
Group went
awake.
live at like 3 in the morning. What time is it in California right now?
Whoa, Sonic's in here already. And he's got the same
Sonic.
question everybody has. WTF.
Yeah, Sonic's like, whoa, what the fuck? Welcome to the show. It's the After Dark edition of your Impact Attack here on Hameen Media Group's YouTube channel. And as this is like the fourth time I've said it because I screwed up the first time before Sonic got here. You're
Very
listening to us at patreon.com/Hameen Media Group. Vet, how's it going, man? Did you have a good fourth?
No.
I hear it still going on in the background.
It's still going on. Don't be alarmed. I'm not in a combat zone.
Are you
I'm
sure?
just-
You're the
I'm
vet.
pretty sure. It makes sense, but I did a little bit more, let's say, hand-to-hand CQC stuff. Not really, on the field with the artillery and stuff. Before we get started here, I just want to kind of, you want to bang, Colin?
Oh my
feel like
gosh.
you could use one of these.
Dude, I actually have a peach mango out in the car. I should totally get it, but then I'll be up for the rest of the night and I need to
Yeah,
go to
don't
sleep.
do it. I'll drink one for the both of us. Here we
What
go.
flavor is that? Are you banging on
Roll
air?
Tide. Roll Tide.
No, well, don't say that. No, War Eagle.
I guess. Well, it's a something to wrestle thing. This is the I saw Jargo post one of these.
Oh, the
This is
Rataskedaddle.
Yeah, this is the Skittle one.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that one.
Well, I don't know. I've never had any bangs. I've never tried.
Oh,
this
really?
flavor. No, and I
man.
thought I'd do a live.
You know who
this podcast brought to you by Bang Energy Drink.
you
Our
you know
sponsor
who
of Hameen Media Group.
you know who drinks Bang Energy drinks and is sponsored by Bang Energy drinks.
Hmm.
Let me drink that. Put music under that right there for you. It's a hefty drink you took there, sir. Banging on air, stealing my gimmick. I like it.
Stealing your gimmick, Colin, or carrying on one of your bits.
Carrying on the bit, sir. Carry on the bit.
Yes, it's always going to be yours.
Yeah,
But we're a team, pal.
We are a
So-
team, sir.
So, like most energy drinks, it tastes like shit, but it's fine. The point is never to savor the flavor of energy. You drink these when you need like a week's allowance of caffeine in a single day. That's
Don't
why
drink
you
two
drink
back
it.
to back, or you'll be
Never.
all over the place.
Don't even drink two within 12
Oh,
hours
well.
of each other,
That's
unless you want to be like a wrestler from the 90s or 2000s and be dead at 35 of a heart attack.
yeah. Don't drink two bangs back to back like that. My favorite flavors: cotton candy, pretty good. That's a solid go-to. There's a sour heads. So if you like
Oh, yeah.
sour stuff, the sour heads is pretty delicious.
Didn't they used to be called warheads and then probably changed for politically correct reasons?
I think so. And then another one of their good flavors that I enjoy. I think I've had the peach mango before. The grape one's not bad. But the ones I kind of stay away from are I wasn't a big fan of that one. I could get through that one. Unicorn rainbow, I'm not too a big a fan of. Don't ever try the cinnamon root beer one. It's exactly as it sounds, as it's named, cinnamon root beer. It's weird. There's this it's a head shop. That's where you can buy glass pipes.
Oh,
a head shop is.
Not just for tobacco, though, right?
I don't want anybody to know that I go to head shops. But
Right.
okay. So I was at this store, and they have this case, and it has like all of these bangs, like almost every flavor of bang, like in the case. So like I've gotten to pretty much almost try every flavor, and they're all pretty good, but
All right.
I have the few I don't like.
Yeah, I'm not an energy drink aficionado. I generally, if I need that caffeine, I usually find like a supplement or something so I can just get the caffeine in the pill without all the extra weird undeclared ingredients and poisons and things that they throw in there. So, not really a huge fan of it, but yeah.
You'll be up for days now, so congratulations, especially if you don't consume a lot of caffeine.
Well, I do, but that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Come here, look, come here, look. I'll pause the show, and you just look me in the camera. I need to see if your eyes are really dilated right now. Sonic, are his eyes really dilated right now? Y'all let us know in the chat here on the Hami. Wow, that's scary. I need to screenshot that. That's a very scary look there you had there. Oh my gosh! Don't ever look at me like that. I'm scared. I'm gonna look away. Let's see. Do you ever listen to Busted Open Radio, Vet?
I would if Izzy was on as a regular co-host.
But I do know that you are a subscriber to Vince Russo's The Brand, are you not?
Sure.
Okay. Have you listened to Better Call Con?
I have not.
Okay, so on the most recent...
That's a Patreon, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. On the most recent episode of Better Call Con, Vince played a clip of Bully Ray, kind of, because on Busted Open, Tony Khan gets his weekly segment.
I heard this clip. He did play it on one of his other shows. I think he played it for Glenn.
Okay, so
you're talking about the one where Bully's talking about tag teams
and the refs.
And that stuff, and Tony brushes him off and says he has other things to worry about besides that.
Yes, yeah, and he just totally brushed off one of the greatest tag team wrestlers in the history of wrestling, not including yourself and our very own Ted McNaylor.
Ted McNaylor, yeah. So what? Is there a question there, or
no? I just do. What are your thoughts on kind of one how Tony just brushed off what Bully Ray had to say, and two, how right is Bully Ray and what he's saying with what's going on with AEW and the refs, and is Tony right about what he said about nobody's really paying attention to what the refs are doing?
Well, I guess everybody's right in a sense. He does have more things to worry about than that. He does, and I'm not talking about his other businesses. I'm talking about on that show specifically. He's got other stuff to worry about before he worries about that part. That is a huge part of it. I think I don't remember exactly what Bully was talking about, but when I heard it, I don't remember disagreeing with what he was saying. And the thing, and I don't think it matters. I don't think the fans see that as much. I think what happens is these days, the fans hear people like Bully and other experts say these things, or Jim Ross says some of these things, and he works for them. So the fans hear that, then it clicks in their mind, and then they can regurgitate it. But they would not have seen what I like. Even as much wrestling as you've watched and stuff, there's been times, I'm sure, during the course of our working together where I've pointed out something that happened in the match that you probably didn't see at the time. But then when I talked about it, you totally understood it and made sense. But what are you supposed to, what is Tony Khan supposed to do in that situation? I'm not defending him, but I'm just asking the question, like, in fairness, as the fairest person on earth, what is he supposed to say? Like, he can definitely do better than what he said. But like, if he can just agree with him, okay, and then what? What are you gonna? Or you can defend it, which you can't, so you're not gonna do that. I think he just got out of that subject. But the problem is, like, guys like him, I don't know anything about him other than what the stuff that we all hear from
Yeah.
him, right? But just talking about, he's a fan, and fans in general, they don't have that same level of understanding, and they can't have a conversation with a professional on that level. So the insecurity of not being able to speak to a subject is going to cause you to, like, bottle up and get defensive about it rather than try to ask questions or learn about it. Or, you know, I don't know how his mind works or what he was thinking about in that time, or if he's just in promotion mode where he just wants to go on there and talk about stuff.
I think
that
that's
he's got
pretty much
coming
what
up.
his spot's for, because it's pretty much him coming on like the last 30 minutes of the show, and it's all about Tony Khan and what he's got going on with AEW.
And here's the other thing, like, when Bully is talking about something that's like on a detailed level, why would he bring that up knowing who he's talking to? It's like when you, if you're at your job and you go to your supervisors or something with a problem that's very specific to you but not really like helping the overall team or the other employees that you work with. Like, it's one thing if you bring up a concern on behalf of everybody, but when you're just talking about stuff that benefits you, it's kind of like, okay, what do you want? You know,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll look into that.
leave us alone.
Yeah, and Bully doesn't even work for him. So it was just kind of like, you should just kind of read the room and not bring up stuff like that there. That's a more of like an off-air conversation. So if you put somebody on the spot, it could have been one of those things. It's like, you know, maybe Tony's a smarter worker than we give him credit for. Maybe he got put on the spot and he's like, oh, you're going to put me on the spot, huh? Well, I'm not going to give you what you want. I don't know.
Well, to round out the the news here at the top of the show, he was I think Sonic was saying that you sound like you're a little tipsy here, but it was a holiday, so you have the excuse of the holiday here.
Well, you can verify that I am what was called a straight edge, I guess, after CM Punk got that pretty popular in the wrestling circles. I didn't have a name for not doing drugs when I was a kid, so that's just
Put the
how it
X's
was.
on your hands.
No.
We need to see him. I don't believe
Oh,
you. I bet you have X's on your hands right now.
You can't see me?
So yeah, yes, John Cena. But so to round out the news here before we jump into Impact Wrestling, I have to say congratulations to the Vet on being the new host of NXT, the Next Level Wrestling Review with our main man, Big Ray Hernandez. It's like I don't just you're going to go hang out with my homie. And I may have to do some run-ins if that's at all possible, and just come sit in with you guys like the weird guy on the couch from Half Baked.
I wouldn't say that. Well, first of all, it all came together pretty quick. Like literally after that last episode, he was texting me, asking me like if I would be able to cover Ben for some things because he's got
Come
much.
on. He was really texting you, asking you for nudes, because he does that for everybody when he first like gets their number and everything. He does it for everyone.
And so he was saying like Ben's really busy and has
You can tell the truth.
has a lot on his plate. He's got a lot of nudes from Ray on his plate, and he can't handle them all. So he's got to shoulder some of, like, he would need somebody to shoulder some of the extra nudes.
That's a lot, because he's got like 400 to 500 wives at a time, and then if they can't handle the nudes and then it overflows to Ben, that's a lot of nudes that Big Ray sends.
I agree. But it really, regardless of what the conversation was, it really was right after the show. He was contacting me and just wanted to know if I'd be able to help out sometimes. And I said, I can take over for Ben. I can go back on the show if he needs that kind of relief.
Yeah.
And so it you know, then he wants to ask me what's my theme music and all this stuff.
What's my theme music? Yes.
Yeah, I was like, man, just
Colin, throw a
relax?
voiceover together while you're at work for 14 hours a day.
Yeah, you see all this. So which that's a perfect segue to where, like, look, we were the last hosts of Next Level, And I'm sure we would be both invited to do the show as a trio with Big Ray, but I just know because of your schedule, that's not, and his schedule, that's not really possible. So anytime that you have a free day, consider yourself like on the show if you can make it. I just want to throw that out there. Of
course.
yes. So that happened. So I'm looking forward to going back on there and getting some things back over, because I don't think they were really, I don't think they were really carrying over some of the traditions we set in our short time there. And we had to constantly remind them of things like, the Dairy Queens and whatnot. And,
The Dairy Queens.
yeah.
Oh, so I wanted to bring up the NXT point because again,
Xylee?
Xia Li
Let's talk
knocking
about
out
Xia Li,
Mercedes
too.
Martinez.
Let's talk
She's
about
looking
that.
great, but
talk about
I was again being a Patreon over there at the Russo's brand, and I only did it for Master Shoot, but now I'm kind of diving into the other shows, and I'm really kind of enjoying the Nitty Gritty Dirt Show with Billy Body, and
Right.
they talked about NXT and the way they do their promos. They get bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, Karrion Kross being on main event was a punishment, possibly, because of what Adam Cole said about, he's all smoke and mirrors and the hot woman and doesn't and all about the entrance. So they put him out there on main event with like no entrance to kind of rib him, because apparently he went against protocol and called Adam Cole a little man, which you're not supposed to do. Apparently, I guess he finds that offensive. If you walk up to Adam Cole and you're like, "Hey, little man," and then he's like, "You're nothing without your smoke and mirrors and your hot women." And you're like, "I don't have hot women and smoke and mirrors, little man."
It's not that is my hot woman. Yeah. So but Adam Cole's got himself a hot woman too, so it's okay.
Yeah.
She's a
a
better worker
AEW
than
world champion. She's a world champion.
she's a better worker in her couple years in the business than him too. But besides all that, yeah, I mean, you gotta be like, I don't know what's really going on there. I watched the main event match. It was against Shelton Benjamin. It was nothing special, and it did look weird for him to come out with his whole thing.
It did look weird for him to come out with just the belt and like his get up or whatever.
Yeah,
No frills.
But these are the kind of things where it's like, unless you're there, like in that environment, you're not really sure what to believe, because this definitely sounds like some shit disturbing by Marks to say that Adam Cole shot on him, so he shot on him and now he's getting punished, and this other thing. And there's also the reports coming out that they want to get a look at some guys, and which that's not the way to do it, which get throwing him out there on main event like that for no reason, that more tends to be like the rib thing, like I would think, if I had to guess. And there's also the thing about Vince coming down to the Performance Center to see some people. And I think, Colin, that you and I at least
should go to the Performance Center.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
And then, but we don't need to, because we already know who's there. But
I thought we were trying out.
I am the one who has already been saying for years that Vince McMahon has no idea who works at NXT. How many times have you said that? Like, he has no idea who he has under contract. He has no clue, and people are getting called up to Raw and SmackDown, and he's meeting them for the first time, and that's why nobody's over, because they weren't his choice. So if he could just...
I got it. We just get the property of WWE shirts, and then we go stand around Vince McMahon, and he'll think he's just like, "Oh, he's got a property of WWE shirt. Come here, get over here. You work for me."
I don't know if we're the specimens that he's particularly looking for.
You might not notice. Just be like, you guys look. We're new recruits. We haven't gotten in shape yet, Vince.
Yeah, well, considering some of the guys they have signed, it's like, well, how could we look any worse? At least we're 6 feet tall, right? So that we got head and shoulders above the rest, literally. But
yeah, no 5'7" over here. I don't need lifts in my shoes.
So, but yeah, I'm gonna take credit for Vince going down there, because I've been saying that for however long. Like, if someone's gonna get called up and get over, it's gotta be, he's gotta at least want
Know
them.
who they are.
He's gotta want them. You know what I mean? Like, he can't just be handed something. He's gotta want it. So go look. You know that, and there's nothing wrong with that. He should have done that a long time ago. Yeah,
that's right. Vet will show up backstage in NXT and then review himself every Wednesday, or Wednesday now, with Big Ray Hernandez on the Next Level Wrestling podcast.
That's right. I'll give myself a glowing review, but not too much. Like I'll have to. I'm the
Do you have
fairest man on
opinions of
earth
yourself?
after all. I'm the fairest man on earth after all. So
Now,
I
see,
have
you
to,
keep saying that. We're gonna get you and Professor Chabela Veracruz together, who is the most unbiased man in professional wrestling.
Wow. All right. Well, that's a different gimmick. I said fair. He said unbiased. There's a difference. And
We just put the two of you in a room. It'll be
yeah,
great.
it was a great tag team. But just on that, so after taking credit for NXT, Vince going to NXT, which that's all because of me, and we do make a difference, Colin. Whether you see it immediately or whether you see it a little bit down the road, this stuff is all archived. You can all go back and listen and hear me say this. But let's talk for a second. Since we're on the NXT subject, let's talk about that Xia Li kick.
Gosh,
Xia is our favorite, right? And we love her. But she kicked Mercedes Martinez in the head, and I have maybe I don't want to say an unpopular opinion because I don't know if anybody's not gonna like it, but maybe just like a different take on it. So I want to ask you because I would consider you an expert in this area. So there was a couple of kicks in this match. I don't know if you saw them both.
no, I just saw the one that knocked out Mercedes.
Okay, so when Mercedes feeds in the first time, Xia hits her with a thrust kick, the super kick style, right? And I don't think she hit her in the face, but she definitely kicked her down. So like if she hit her like in the top of the chest, which is where you would generally aim the super kick, because the feet still, like the toes kind of touch the jaw, so it looks like you got kicked there. But if you lay the foot up here, no one can tell the difference at that speed, right? So that's where you want to aim it. So it looked like you kicked her right in the top of the chest, and she fell, like Mercedes fell, like, and you could tell there's definite push contact there. So that was a little, that was the first thing that people thought, what's up? Then towards the end of the match, that's when she does the spinning roundhouse that we all saw, right? The black mass looking kick. So you've seen a lot of head kick knockouts in your days of watching fights, right?
Terry Edom taking one from Edson Barbosa comes to mind.
Okay. Now, just to me, now I'm not bad at tape review. Like when I look at things, usually the first time I see it, and if I go back and watch it again, I'm usually confirmed on what I saw the first time. This goes back to like watching football, and like the refs throw a flag and people are like, what happened? I was like, well, this guy was offsides or whatever. like I can see those things. Yeah. I didn't see a significant amount of contact to cause like a concussion knockout on that. It looked like a worked kick that was put in the right place. I'm not saying she didn't hit Mercedes, but I don't know if Mercedes really got knocked out from that, is like, or if this was like maybe a better worked angle. One of the reasons that makes me think that is because they showed the replay a bunch of times on TV, which they normally don't do for fuck ups. So that's one hint. And maybe they just got tired of seeing all these fake angles and wanted to do like, this is what it would look like more realistically. Like maybe Mercedes wanted to put that together to get Xia Li over, because it was definitely awkward the way they did on TV. So I could go either way on it, but I didn't look like, especially when they slowed it down, it just didn't look like that hard of a kick.
So the first time I saw it, I thought the same thing that you were thinking there. Like she didn't connect all the way, but several times in MMA, the guy throws a punch that doesn't look like it has much velocity on it, and it hits the guy just in the right spot, even with kicks sometimes.
Sure.
So it's like a whipping leg kick like that. There's a lot of force generated behind that, especially if she knows Taekwondo and knows how to throw it and open her hips enough. And she looked like she put some rotation.
She's Chinese, not
on
Korean.
It's all the same. You learn how to kick.
No, Taekwondo has a lot more spinning roundhouses than whatever
Wing Chun.
Wing Chun or Wushu or whatever she's doing.
They're more like into flying off of trees and fighting with swords and stuff like that, right?
But continue.
But the second time I saw it, so the first time I saw it, I'm watching this clip. I see it hit her, and then I watch Mercedes fall, and I'm like, okay, she's working it. Like that's a pretty cool sell on the timber. Like, all right, Vince must have just seen like a Terry Adam head kick knockout reel and was like, oh, we're gonna do this spot right here.
Well, not
And,
Vince, Hunter.
yeah,
Remember,
Hunter
Vince has
did,
no
yeah.
idea what goes on there.
And then the way she wakes up after Xia Li's pinning her, that's when I was just like, ooh, maybe she was out, because she kind of like reaches up and is like, oh, I'm like waking up out of it. And that's where it made me think like, okay, like maybe she did get knocked out.
Maybe,
And
right? Maybe.
yeah,
But-
just maybe.
But
But-
focus on the impact part.
No, but that's where like in my mind, I've seen people get hit like that. So you never know. But they could be really, I mean, they're really trying to push this Xia Li Boa gimmick with them being like real shooters and the whole like triad thing. So maybe like that was somebody in the truck was like, all right, let's use this, you know, like let's take what could have been something bad to like, let's put it all out there and be like, yo, did you see that girl knock that girl out? Maybe next week she's gonna knock somebody else out. Like, let's tune in for her. And speaking of Xia Li, Boa looks like he's Minoru Suzuki's like long lost son. Kind of, I can see it in the face. When he gets a little older, he's gonna look kind of like Minoru Suzuki, especially
He's
if he.
Chinese, not Japanese.
Yeah, but he kind of looks like Minoru Suzuki to me. I can't help
kind
that.
of does.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually kind of does a little, but you know,
It's okay.
you know. But
Oh, from
but anyway,
some
so
degree.
I just wanted to get your opinion if you also thought that kick did not have enough on it, because I know that it doesn't have to be like the hardest hit in the world. I know you can just strike a certain area, like, you know, you can just get that flash, like if you get hit in the jaw or something like that. But like, you know, Xia Li's not a reckless performer, despite
Unless
her
Mercedes just
inexperience.
has like that Chuck Liddell glass jaw where you get
That
hit
was-
with Rich Franklin's broken arm, and then
That was-
you just go straight out. So
That was what I was thinking. Like,
we got
It could-
Soda
it could have
Thompson
been
and
where-
Glass Joe, Mercedes.
Sonic got my you can't say Japanese or Chinese without thinking of King of the Hill. Lay Ocean. I'm from Laos, little country between Vietnam and Thailand. Lay Ocean.
My cousin was Laos.
Hey, all right.
Laotian.
Laotian. So I was just wondering about that, because there was this guy I used to like when we were doing drills and things like that.
Always just a guy. I know. Big Ray always has those stories too. That's how Big Ray
I
starts
could
a lot
name
of
him
his
if you
stories.
really want. If you
No,
really
it's
want,
okay.
okay.
There's this guy at the glory hole. That's usually how Big Ray starts his story.
Well, that's a different deal. I could understand wanting to protect the anonymity of that. So it's this guy, Scott Cardinal, if you have to know. I used to always, whenever I had a chance, because he did a super kick, and almost as a rib, I would call super kick anytime I got an opportunity for him to super kick me, right? Because he would lay the super kick in, and I never once, out of any of the times he kicked me, did I ever feel it. It was always right there, and I didn't feel it, and I didn't know how he did it. Because I don't know how you can control, you know what I mean? If you don't do that stuff, like if you don't throw strikes, like I can't super kick anybody. My hips just don't work that way. So I'm always fascinated with other people that can, but it seems to me like it would be harder to control something like that. So I was always fascinated, like, man, he never even touches me, even though it looks like he kills me. Because that's how I would sell it. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I know it can be done. And somebody like, when you see Xia go out and do her WMAC Masters weapons demonstrations and things, like you can just tell from her movements that those are very practiced.
Yeah,
like
she knows what she's doing.
It doesn't look like somebody that's trying to do like make fun of it or do like a parody of it or
like
or they
early
wanna-
90s WWE version of WMAC Masters.
Yeah. So some of those things, like where you see people pretend to do martial arts, people like her and, you know, to an extent Glacier, you know, when he used to do his kata stuff, like it always looked really, I know it's a rib, but like if you really go back and look at like his form in some of those matches, like with his poses and kicks and stuff, like he was always like really on point and everything looked really good. So
His entrance
really
took
think-
forever.
well, that's a different story. Speaking of entrances that take forever, Glacier, Xia Li. So like, I like how it was too cartoony for the 1990s, but here in 2021 we can do it.
We can do it.
Yeah, so just because of that precision that she normally has, it's hard to believe that even if she spun around and whatever, and it seemed like she just laid that kick in the right place. So I'm going to say that if it was in fact a legit knockout, that Mercedes was probably the one that was out of place, because you got to be like really, when you do that kind of stuff, you got to be like really synchronous. You can't move your head an inch to the right or left if someone's expecting you to be there, so that they can stop that kick right on that dime like they need to. And Xia Li's foot looked like it stopped right where it needed to be, and then Mercedes Martinez fell down. So if she got knocked out, I'm not gonna say she doesn't know what she's doing or anything, but it could have just been one of those unfortunate things where she might have just slightly been in the wrong position or something.
Well, have you ever seen the video of Joe Rogan teaching George St. Pierre how to throw like a spinning back kick?
No.
Or like a spinning side kick? You should go check that out.
Wait, I don't. Maybe I've seen some video of him doing a kick. I don't know if he was teaching George St. Pierre, but I've seen a video of Joe Rogan kicking.
Yeah, there's a really cool video of him and George St. Pierre training in like this basement, and Joe is like kicking the shit out of this bag, and it's moving. Like Joe's a guy not to mess with, but he shows George how to throw like a spinning side kick, and like the whole process and how they do it, and it's a cool video. Go check it out. Are you ready? Are you ready to jump into this moose with me, sir? We just got a lot of moose.
Let's talk about Xia Li some more.
We want to talk about Xia Li some more, not moose.
Well, there'll be plenty of time left to talk about moose, even when we're done talking about Xia Li.
Oh, there's totally a lot of time to talk about moose.
Yeah, Glacier was just Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. Man, Glacier was cool. You know, everybody talks about Bobby Eaton being some kind of great worker, but he had a bad match with Glacier, and it wasn't Glacier's fault. So I just want to throw that out there.
Well, that moose horn there, guys. It's time for your impact attack.
It's cool. It's just a slow
really
beat
cool.
in him saying his name.
We start the night with D'Lo Brown and Josh Matthews welcoming the fans to Impact Wrestling, and we've got, as I texted you earlier, we've got the Road Dogg, Eddie Edwards, and Kojima backstage. What is it with Eddie Edwards and his hairdo? It's, what did you say? It's the E to the double D-I-E.
Yeah. It's me. It's E to the double D-I-E. Rolling once again with that Koji. I guess. Yeah.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya.
Actually, we got 4 words for you. I don't speak English.
I don't speak English.
So,
that's all I was thinking when Morrissey came on the screen during this segment was like,
yeah, what's he say?
I don't speak English.
Okay, so here's a funny thing that you're probably not gonna see in the notes, because they probably counted this as part of the recap. But you know how they always start Impact with a recap of last week? So, like, at the end of this recap, they tacked on something that I don't think happened last week, and it didn't really happen on this show because it was before the opening credits, or the opening theme song or whatever. But Morrissey goes up to those guys as they're standing backstage, hanging out, not speaking English, and he calls them both frauds. You know, like, continuing with his promos about how you can't trust anybody and there's no friends in wrestling, like that whole angle that he's doing right now. He goes up to them and says they're not friends or nothing. They're just frauds. He used the word frauds. He calls them frauds.
You're a fraud.
So that sets up this whole little thing right here. But it got tacked onto the recap, so a lot of people may have skipped over that.
Yes, we did skip over that. Just like we almost skipped over Brian Myers and Soda Thompson coming out as Kojima comes out. Sorry, I kind of skipped some things around. I am very tired, and it is almost 3 a.m. Kojima comes out, but Eddie Edwards does not come out. Morrissey appears on the screen. And that's when he's basically talking to Kojima about what he did to Eddie Edwards, and Kojima looks just as lost as we all did about what was going on with Eddie Edwards. But I think Kojima is truly lost because he no speak English. I no speak English, Eddie Edwards, and then Brian Myers comes out with Soda Thompson. Soda Thompson and Myers go to town on Kojima, beating Kojima down, and none other than Jake Something comes out to make the save, and we get Brian Myers, Soda Thompson versus Jake Something and Kojima in a tag team match.
Playa.
Holla holla playa. How hot was this hot tag during this match when Kojima basically took it home with the tag there at the end?
The tag itself was pretty lame, if I remember correctly. This was days ago now, so I can't really remember. But I don't remember any significant hot tags anywhere on this show, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume that this was bad. If I'm not remembering wrong, I think Jake Something bumped both the other guys and just left them laying when he went over and tagged Kojima. So
and then like Kojima came in and was cleaned up house basically.
So once again, he had things well in hand and just got lazy and tagged Kojima in, right? So yeah, did you know, Colin, that Brian Myers is featured on one of the Impact trading cards and a pin, a collectible pin?
Oh my gosh, I have to go out and buy that now. Where can I buy such a thing?
I don't even remember, even though they're trying to shill for it. I'm sure it's Impact
We're
Wrestling.
getting paid for this read, right?
Some shit we should be.
No, we don't get paid
for the
look, if they're not paying us, we don't do ads for other people, Vet. Only ourselves.
Well, I was just letting you know as a collector, in case you were wondering that
you're putting it over your.
It's
not advertising. You could text that to me. You could
I'm just-
Facebook message me. You could tweet me. I could get any kind of a message from @OpinionHaver on any of the social media platforms that I'm on.
Any of them,
including Grindr.
I guess my point is you're on Grindr. Okay, so that is at Colin Wysong as well.
Yes, right. And just as yours is Opinion Haver.
Okay, so I just wanted to make the point that was my biggest takeaway from this tag team match is that Brian Myers is on a pin and a trading card. That's how unimportant this match felt to me. That's really the only reason I brought it up.
You know how? Oh well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say so we can move on from there.
Well, Kojima and Jake Something go over here, and we go backstage as Gia Miller is talking to Vice President Scott D'Amore, and Havoc and Rosemary teleport in out of nowhere and ask for a shot at Fire and Flava. D'Amore says he will take it under consideration. Are you excited to see Rosemary and Havoc versus Fire and Flava yet again?
No, but I'm less excited to see teleporting. But like, what can I even do at this point? They're not going to stop doing it. This teleportation does count as interruption number 1 though on this show. It
does. Well, next we've got Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K versus Rachel Ellering, who is accompanied by Jazz. Now, I really like Rachel's music. And I feel like Vet, had there been crowd there, she could be a pretty big baby face there in Impact Wrestling. I felt like her entrance, like when she came out, like in my mind, I just heard a loud pop of like yeah, like she's here, like she could be this big baby face. Like they could not necessarily like have a superstar on their hands, but have somebody that they could, get the fans behind, and somebody that they don't really have like that in the women's division. There's nobody that you can really think of other than Fire and Flavor that we're excited to see in this women's division every week. It's like the oops all heels version of and I think she's good. Like normally I think tonight her gear she wore she had the midriff out and it didn't look bad. Like she looked good. Like she's been working on herself. Like she's really taking this seriously. And I feel like we got a really good match, especially out of Tennille Dashwood here. And I enjoyed this match, and I liked the Jazz got in with the interference, and then we had the beat down there. We weren't sure if Jordan was going to come in or not, and then Jordan comes in, and we're reunited, and it feels so good.
Did it feel so good?
No, it really didn't feel good at all.
Yeah, it just seemed like
kind of gross and
a little bit, yeah,
harassy.
and forced.
Forced, yeah,
well,
yeah.
You didn't really.
Yeah.
Did you really have that much? What did she ever really do to you?
Jordan Grace just came into my DMs and just hugged me like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so even though I'm well aware that they taped like a batch of these shows all together, I'm still gonna go with my bit and say that thanks to me, Tennille shook off whatever was bothering her, and she looked much better in this match. She had a lot of snap on a lot of her stuff. She actually threw a clothesline that looked like it would have killed somebody if it had hit and missed it. So that's the kind of thing you wanna do. So. She must have just been having like, it must be like one of those things where like it's like a long taping day and you just
Jordan really laid into her on that shoulder tackle though. I don't know if you remember that. She kind of came in and just kind of pushed Caleb out the way and then turned around and Tennille was there, just laid right into her with the shoulder tackle. So we go backstage. We've got Ace, Austin, Rohit, Raju, Mahabali Shira, and Madman Fulton. They interrupt Chris Bay's interview. First thoughts on Chris Bay. I think this might be the first time you're really getting a taste of Bay here on that Old Bay seasoning here on the Impact Attack.
The Old Bay seasoning, a lot of seafood, and so I mean, is he from the Bay Area just because his name is Chris Bay?
Well, it's Bey, not Bay Area,
but,
which is.
No, but when he's announced from the Bay Area, like instead of saying San Francisco or one of those towns,
yeah, they say Chris Bay from the Bay Area.
Yeah, they say Bay Area.
What if they said he was from the Bay
I'm
Hive?
just saying, are you from there or not? Or
He's from
are you from like Iowa, like Seth Rollins, and you're just saying Bay Area because that's your name? Well, this is another interview over music, and guess what? We get interruption number 2 here. So if you're counting, actually, I think that's going to be the end of the interruption. So they're working on it.
More interruptions than chin locks here.
Right. So, I mean, there still was a chin lock in it because you're going to have Gallows, but it's still, that's like, if we can minimize all these things, you don't want to keep repeating any of, unless it's Moose appearances, you don't want to repeat anything on any of these shows. You want to make every segment feel unique and fresh. Even if you do the same things every week, if you don't do them more than once each one of those weeks, it'll still feel fresher than it does if you just keep on doing the same stuff. But so I just am looking at ways that I can like combine names of teams because there's so many like weird alliances and stuff happening. So I came up with Rohais Aju.
Rohais Aju. Okay, I like it. What do you
think about that? It's got the little play on words there with like a French dip sauce,
like a hollandaise and an au jus, Rohais au jus. Chris Bay is actually from Alexandria, Virginia, so the Old Bay joke is closer to the actual place where he's from than him being from the Bay Area.
That's about almost as far as you can get from the Bay Area. So just for everybody's edification there. But yeah, so as far as Chris Bay, like I'm still just not. I don't know if Impact's not really showcasing it, and it's going to get even worse a little bit later. But to me, it's still I'm still just seeing Kofi Kingston here.
We go back to the ring as we've got TJP and Falaba versus Rich Swann and Willie Mack. But
for this one, I had TJFB and I had Swamak. What do you think of those? So do you want to keep any of those or throw some of those back in?
I think we can get rid of the TJP one. We can throw that one into the chopper.
Okay.
Let's
Swan
see.
Mac we want to keep? Okay.
I kind of like Swan Mac. Yeah.
Just Swan Mac. No ends.
Swan Mac. Okay. Yeah. I like that.
All right.
We've got this match doesn't even really get to go anywhere because by design, Violent by Design comes out and interrupts the match with Cody Deaner trying to Deaner trying to bite one of the guys. Well, I think he bit TJP while he was out there. Like just what is going on with Violent by Design?
He thought he was a lumpia roll.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably was. I'm surprised he didn't try to take a bite out of Falaba. I kind of enjoyed this. We get Rhino hitting the gore in the ring on Willie Mack, and then kind of as the three men stand there, and a little action from Eric Young. Could that mean his knee might be feeling a little better? He got the face grab in, like the fish hook, and he even kicked someone before throwing a guy back into the ring. And then I liked the the look and the aesthetic of the 3 men in the ring and him pacing. Like there's something really, really wrong with him, and he is just going back and forth. And I like this dynamic that I'm seeing from them, because it's like he's definitely crazy. There's something really wrong with Eric Young, and now we see it with Diener, because he's going around biting people. And who's next? Doring and Rhino are going to do something crazy. Like, are you sold more on Violent by Design? Do you feel like they can? Are they doing anything for you?
I think the deal with them is like, if you're making it the whole gimmick, your name is Violent by Design and you're talking about violence, you're gonna have to do something that sets yourself apart more from like everything that everybody does on every wrestling show. Like, what do they do that nobody else does? What they do is the same thing as like the Young Bucks do. It's the same thing as, anybody
Diamond Mine,
like Diamond Mine, Hurt Business or whatever. Like, it's just, what are they doing? They're beating up guys, okay? And
Road Dogg, Eddie Edwards, and Kojima.
Sure, you know how they always attack people backstage during their interviews. So if you're gonna have a group where you say Violent by Design and you make violence a focal point, what I would suggest, since they're taking ideas, obviously, what I would suggest is, if you want these guys to be a big part of the show, make their disruption of the program a central story angle, where
kind of like Retribution.
Yeah, like, except where Retribution had no it was that made no sense, because you were trying to act like, what? Wait, so you're just a bunch of terrorists that are attacking the building? Why would you be given anything? Why wouldn't you just be arrested? Whereas these guys are like, they're already wrestlers, then they get together, okay, so you form a group. But now if they start slowly going out of control and doing things, then you have to have like, okay, well, you got to suspend this guy, as a result. There has to be consequences for your actions. And that's one of the things that I think is missing from every single wrestling promotion right now, is that when things like this are done that are supposed to generate some sort of heat, like they're doing it to try to get heat on heels or generate some sort of excitement or anticipation or a hope for retribution, no pun intended, but like the whole idea of that, there has to be consequences for that. So if you do something where like you keep attacking people or whatever, then you have to get suspended for some reason. And that can be a reason why, if Eric Young is hurt, that he can't be there because he did something that was so bad, the Impact's like, you know what, you're out of here. And then it's like, but he's giving order, like they're getting their orders from him, and they give that through their promos or whatever. They're saying, this is what our mission is. And then one of them gets in trouble for something, but it's got to be something like that. You can't just call yourself Violent by Design, then just have matches, and then just kick and punch guys like everybody does. There's nothing to that gimmick. So that's my advice. Do more with it.
See, if Retribution had just gone into the future, listened to this show, they would have known that they could have just put on Property of WWE shirts and taken down the system from within that way. I mean, it's clearly by design. You and I created that plan.
Yeah. Instead, what they did was, what, these guys firebombed one of our generators? Well, give them a match, I guess.
Give them contracts. Sign those guys, god damn it.
Or else they'll do it again.
Yeah, right. Give them.
I would have been like, I would have set up, you know what I would have done? I would have set up a contract signing in the ring and then had the police come out. That's what I would have done if I was writing the show.
Oh man, we go backstage. We've got Fire and Flavor. They are not in favor of Havoc and Rosemary, just coming right on in and demanding a title match. Scott D'Amore, they have to do the, let's go talk to Scott. So they mosey on down the hallway and catch Scott as he's leaving his office. And he says that he's gonna make Havoc and Rosemary prove their worth to see if they're good enough to get that tag team title shot against Fire and Flavor. In the WWE, AEW, we're walking around like it's scripted, need more chaos. Yeah, we kind of talked about that, Sonic. I don't know if you were there. The bullet points in NXT, Vet really didn't touch on that. He kind of glossed over it because he really wanted to talk about Tian Sha
I forgot.
and Xia Li. But apparently NXT not scripted. It's bullet point promos.
I think like most people, they script who they need to script and they bullet point who they trust, and then you can tell which ones are which if you really know what you're looking for on NXT. I didn't mean to gloss over it. I just forgot about it. But
No, it's okay because guess what we're about to talk about next.
but yeah, but just to his comment, like there's too much chaos. There needs to be order. There needs to be order in the show in general. It almost has to be to the point of being boring. And then when the chaos happens, it seems like it's more effectual rather than if everything's chaos, then you get surprised. People are getting surprised when guys don't interrupt Tony Schiavone on AEW now. That's the surprise, and that's not how it should be.
We're surprised when people don't get interrupted here on Impact Wrestling.
Exactly.
And your Impact Attack. Now, Vet, who's that lovely gentleman right there above your head there in the corner? That icon there.
It appears to be Moose.
It's Moose, ladies and gentlemen. We have a Moose sighting. Our first Moose sighting of the night here, as he is backstage with Chris Sabin, Sami Callihan, Gia, and Tommy Dreamer, and Moose is just towering over everybody. Like, this dude looks like Morrissey standing beside everybody else. Like, just the way the camera angle is.
Tommy Dreamer's about 6'1" or so.
Look at that. Sonic says he's going to probably be watching NXT more now because the Vet is reviewing it. That's dope.
That's right.
Get him back. That's how we're going to get the ratings
over,
up.
Baby. Pretty soon I'll be on Light the Fuse too, because Ben Humming's gonna be too busy. I'll be reunited with my old buddy Sucio.
You'll be on the flat Friday locker room with Stevie, and you'll forget about the little guys.
Never. I'm bringing you all with me. That's the thing. I am the rising tide, and you are the ship, Colin. Stop sniffling. All right, come on now. Don't assume things.
All right. So, what did you think of this backstage segment here?
Well, first thing I noticed is that there was no interruption.
No interruption, because you can't interrupt Moose.
Yeah,
how dare you?
You goddamn better not ever in your life interrupt Moose. But I want to just real quick rewind to that Fire and Flava thing, because does that count as half an interruption? Because no one interrupted them, but they went and grabbed Scott.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't doing anything though, so it wasn't technically an interruption. He's just walking around with his headset off like he always does. But like, I'm gonna call that a 2.5. Let's give it a half interruption just for, because I feel like they wanted something to be interrupted, and that's the best they could come up with. So, yeah. It's like this was all I was sitting here was just like waiting for Moose's turn. I didn't really care about anybody else. I've heard you all before. Wait, what I want to hear? Chris Sabin promo? Are you kidding me?
Did they crack Sammy during the promo here? Do you think when Chris Sabin just looked at Moose and said that he didn't like it? It's because I had to rewind it and watch it again because I wasn't sure if Sammy cracked or if he was really just laughing as part of his character in that segment. Because he did kind of step away and kind of like turn away from the camera a little bit before he stepped back, but he like laughed on camera.
Honestly, don't remember. What did Chris Sabin say?
Chris, when he was like Tommy, I respect you, and this is the only reason why I'm doing this. And Sammy, we've had our differences, and da 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 da. But Moose, I really don't like you, or he said something to that effect.
Yeah.
And Sammy just kind of like laughed.
Wow, if that cracked Sammy, then he has no sense of humor whatsoever.
Yeah, I guess I think he might have been playing it up just because he was kind of reacting to everybody's comments and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the important thing is, like I said, no interruption here.
Moose. Mm-hmm. We got our Moose. Do you have anything else about Moose? I've
got a million things about Moose, but we got to get through this.
We do. We're going back to the ring as Chris Bay from the Bay Area versus Petey Pump here.
From the Petey area.
From the Petey area. From the Petey areas of Canada. Chris Bay going over here. Anything about this match that you would like? Did you finally getting to see him in a match? What did you think here from Chris Bay?
Kofi Kingston
heard.
If you notice, he had his hair up in a single pony in the interview, but he had the double
pony, yeah.
Double ponies. So I don't know if he meant to do that.
Well, it was a single pony, but curled up to like give himself the frill up front. Yeah.
Which I wonder why he wouldn't just work like that unless they taped these at 2 separate times.
Or it could get in his way, in his face, maybe.
Could, and then he'd have to be hairbrushing, and then I'd have to criticize him for that. I don't see Chris Bay doing anything egregious that I need to call him out for. So he's doing well. He's got a certain look to him. But here's where
Finale going on behind you.
right, you guys. So don't worry, I'm safe. I'm safe here in the bunker, deep underground.
Are
But
you at
not
Ben
so deep
Hameen's
that you
house?
can't hear it. No, no, he's got his own bunker. Come on, where do you think he keeps all those wives? So,
And the
so
big Ray nudes.
the big great news, right? That's a separate bunker. He's got multiple bunkers, really. So here's the deal with Chris Bay is he's kind of like if I'm turning on the TV and I just kind of see his attitude, what I've seen lately, I think heel, right? Like the kind of like cocky, arrogant heel.
Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong? So that's kind of what I get. But here in this situation, this whole thing is like the whole point of this match is like they're doing this pick a side story where it's like the battle for Chris Bay's soul, right?
Yeah.
Like, but the upcoming match that they're having is like a 5-way match. There's no teams.
Yeah, this is why I don't get why Rohit and Ace Austin are
Yeah.
together. Like, but
Right.
then it's clear which team he's going to join because only one team has 3 guys and the other team has 4 guys.
Yeah.
So which team are you going to join, Chris Bay? Because they're not about to bring in some. Burt Macklin's not about to join either of these teams because he hasn't been interjected into this segment yet. So
not yet.
Not
but
yet.
so I'm not really getting like this story is not working for me because it doesn't make sense. I don't care which side he joins because this is not a team battle. If you were promoting this as a team battle, then it'd be different. But since it's every man for himself, like I kind of thought the story was who's going to turn on who in Rohei Saju first. Like that's kind of that story. That's what I thought. But now it's like, which side is Chris Bay gonna join? And then he walks away like looking conflicted, like after the match, as then he watches the beatdown, and then he runs back in and joins the good guys side. And it's like, well, why would he do that? What about his character have I seen to show me that he would make that kind of a choice, that he would even care to get involved in something that, again, for the 3rd or 4th time, is not a team battle? So I just don't know why they're choosing to do things like this. I guess it's because they just don't know how, like I think they're trying to come up with something different to try to promote one of these car crash matches.
yeah,
Because otherwise, why are we supposed to care? Like it's
to
just
get
the same old
drum up
people.
some kind of interest.
Yeah. But it should be more like the interest of this story should be based on the way everything's laid out up to this point. It should just be, can Josh Alexander survive this? That's all. That's the only
It
story
needs to
you
be
really
the
need.
pinpoint. The focus needs to be on him.
Yeah. If you're not going to make that the story, then no one's forcing you to make it a 5-way. It's your company. You could have any kind of match you want, but you chose to do this. You chose to have a every man for himself match and then have teams.
After Josh said he's like the man on the mountain, we're going to do an X Division match where we have another multi-man match for this title. Like it seems like almost every other month they're having multi-man matches for this title because it's been happening a lot. I think I filled in on an episode for MSG one time with Ben, and they had a multi-man match for the X Division title, and I think that's when Chris Bay won it for the first time. Also, Sonic, physical media is the best media, so that's why you would want to keep old nudes on physical media like that, like video games, cassettes, CDs. It's physical media is always the best. What do you feel about physical media, Bet?
I like it for some things and not for other things.
What do you feel about this backstage segment with Kimberly and Sue Young? Or sorry, Susan, who
Yeah.
doesn't know who Sue Young is.
Kimber wants Sue Young
Yes.
as a backup plan.
Not like wants her like that, but like wants her to help her beat Deonna Purrazzo.
Right. And, normally that would be hot, the other thing you said, but because it's these two, I'm not sure how hot it is. Nonetheless, Susan doesn't know what she's talking about. You could just explain to her, hey, it's that person that attacked you on the ramp a few weeks ago during your
Right.
entrance. How about that?
It's
if
the
you're not going to admit that it's
you're
you.
schizo, Susan. There's a undead bride that lives inside of you. Can we speak to her, please?
Yeah. So
Rich, can we get Rich Swanner in here? Rich, can you get Sue Young out?
Yeah, kayfabe that, brother. We're not doing that level of reality here. Yeah, so this was like, whatever. It was just a few seconds. It was very brief. and it's one of those ones where it's like the camera's like spying on them, but it seemed like they pretty much chose to stop spying at a pretty luckily opportune moment because they stopped talking. So, yeah.
And then we're backstage again with what I feel like is an ill-timed promo. It's like we literally just saw Jake something out there like doing what he was doing, and then it's like his promo seemed like it was very just non sequitur to everything that has happened in the show and everything. But then Brian Myers has kind of a promo replying back to what Jake Something's promo was, but it seemed more in line with what had happened during the show. Like Jake Something's just kind of seemed out of touch, like out of place here in the order of how things would have happened. But
another thing that's out of place about it is no music. And
yeah, that's true.
No one interrupted him.
What's with the weird red light too? Like he's just back there with this. He's under a heat lamp. Jake Something is under a heat lamp, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to throw him away.
In store hot dog.
We'll have to throw him away in 5 minutes. Then we go to the ring as we get our favorite Parks and Recs character, Burt Macklin, here on Impact Wrestling. I think he's probably the greatest future endeavored signing. Once the season finale of Parks and Rec happened and they were able to sign Burt Macklin here. But poor Manny Smith. And the only reason I know his name is because Manny was written right across his shorts. He made sure to get his shit in so you knew who he was on the independent scene. So you're not being like, independent wrestler gets squashed by Burt Macklin. No, we get to say Manny got squashed by Burt Macklin.
So here's the note I had, which is why I made this a talking point. This guy, whatever his name is, I'm not sure, has the smoothest front torso I've ever seen. It's like someone sanded his pecs and abs down, like it just shaved them off. Like no chest or stomach for you.
His hair does his hair not weird to you either?
His hair was weird, but you see all kinds of. You see all kinds of weird hair on indie wrestlers. Like they're all the security like whenever you see security come out, you're like, why would a job let you have that haircut, right? So you see that all the time. That's not, but I've never seen a flat front this smooth. I had to remark on it. So what did you think about Manny Smith's flat, sanded down, buffed out front of his body?
It wasn't as glaring as the heavy slam for the knockout finish here. When was the last time we saw a slam finish a match here?
Are you talking about this match?
Yeah, the Manny Smith.
Burt Macklin? He did like a doesn't he do like a, it's some kind of sit out driver thing, isn't it? It's not just like a body slam.
It's a body splash. It's a splash. He does a senton.
No, he doesn't do that. That's not his finisher. It's
he does a rolling senton.
Yeah, he does a what is it called? I forget how he gets into it, but it ends as like a Michinoku driver almost. It's almost like a power slam. It's like a power slam. He's got him up on the shoulder and then he drops down to his ass and does like a Michinoku driver thing. I mean, it's at least it's not one of the holy trinity of moves that say I don't have a finisher, and those moves are Crossroads, Flatliner, and
Gorilla Press Slam.
No,
the splash.
No, there's some other shitty move.
DDT.
They always do. They always give some guy when they expect it to get a pop.
The lariat.
No, I'll think of it later.
The spear.
No.
Oh, I thought that's why they gave it to Roman Reigns to get a pop. I digress.
Any ex-football player can have a spear.
Yeah, that's true. And Edge. I digress. So we already talked about Brian Myers accepting Jake Something's challenge, but he informs him that he's going to win against a guy like himself next week.
He's like, if he loses, if Jake Something can beat Myers, then Myers has to call Something a professional.
A professional.
You're a professional. What kind of stipulation is that? Who cares?
You're a professional.
Yeah. What he should do is he should put Soda Thompson's services on the line. That's what he should do. Or the mentorship. He should put his mentorship like.
And then Jake Something gets Soda Thompson to follow him around.
Yeah, so Jake Something can mentor
I just wear knee pads and black trunks and I look as generic as possible. That's what you should do. And then Sam's coming out just.
And then maybe that can give him an excuse to change his name, and then he can get Soda Thompson for a shoot.
That is true.
Soda something? Huh?
This show is for kids. We are a very kid-friendly show here on the Impact Attack. We have fireworks in the background for the kids if you're kids.
That's right.
Al from
Yeah,
Russo.
it never stops.
They got
It's
to
July
this.
5th, but they've been going since June 1st. They don't need excuses or holidays to blow shit off in my neighborhood. Trust me. They'll just fire guns in the air.
All right, are you
Anyways.
ready for our moose sighting?
Moose sighting number 2.
Moose sighting number 2 as we go to your main event of the evening. We've got our team Don Callis versus team Tommy Dreamer and Vet. You're on the chin lock clock, sir. How many chin locks did we have in this match?
I saw one. I didn't have the clock on for this one. I'm sorry, unfortunately. I've let everybody down, and I apologize. Yeah,
You had one job. One job.
No, I actually had 2 jobs, just like you. We had a lot of jobs. You know how everybody wants to celebrate the American independence by ordering Italian food, and that's why you've been so swamped here. That great tradition of ordering Italian food for the American Independence Week. So, I did note that Don Callis added Greg Gagne to that list of legends he likes to name off again, and I don't know if he's doing that as a joke.
I'm waiting here for him to screw up when he says Strangler and say Strangler Steve on accident. I'll pop.
Yeah. And don't worry, nobody. We know what you meant. We know that this show's definitely not for kids. That we're talking about Impact. Impact
Fuck
Wrestling
shit.
is for kids.
Ass.
Titties.
Titties. Hang on, wait, here you go. This show's definitely not for kids.
And so that's the double protein option is
Wait,
pretty good.
Are we having a boob flex off?
We're having a contest. This is how I'm talking now. So yeah, well, you win. So
Definitely not for kids.
And that's a free preview of the A show. So go sign up at Patreon and get
That's what I get to look at.
quality content. That's right. You get to look at Idol Stevens in a tank top and nothing else.
By the way, I don't know if anyone noticed my my Idol Stevens cosplay here with Macho Man head gimmick here, but Idol Stevens cosplay here.
He's the intellectual savior of
Moose
the masses and the moose. He's the intellectual moose. He's the moose of the mooses.
of the mooses.
Yes. So, yeah. So the only real thing I didn't have the chin lock counter on, but I did have a couple of things I wanted to talk about.
How's that Don Callis entrance? I bet that's got to be on your list.
Well, like I said, he keeps adding Greg Gagne, so I think that's like a bit now. Like that's the first time he did it, I thought he just got too excited and just threw a non-legend in there with the rest of them with his father. But I think now he's doing it on purpose, like as a joke on Greg Gagne. So
I love the triple A when he's like triple A.
yeah, so I'm fine with all that stuff. But here's what I'm not fine with, Colin, and this is
then you shouldn't have said it.
Do you remember in this match, there's a point, I don't know how much of it you got to actually watch, but there's a point in this match where everybody's trying to attack Chris Sabin and he's in the corner and he moves out of the way 3 times. Did you, you know the spot I'm talking about?
Yeah, where Moose gets out of the way.
Well, it's like, no, it's well, I don't know if Moose was involved in this particularly, but he's sitting in the turnbuckle. And so, like, one of the guys, I forget which one comes first, maybe just say for the sake of argument, Carl Anderson. Carl Anderson charges in, and then he moves. Then Carl Anderson's in the corner, and Chris Sabin's, like, blocking him in the corner, but still leaning in the turnbuckle like he's stuck in the turnbuckle, but now he's holding Carl Anderson there. Then Gallows charges in, then Chris Sabin moves, and Gallows hits Anderson, and then they both take a powder. And then Chris Sabin leans back in the corner again. And then Kenny Omega charges him. And he fucking moves again.
Playing that rope-a-dope, man. Come on, man. He learned from the greatest, Muhammad Ali.
Shut up. Don't ever put the greatest name in with these fucking jabronis ever again. Dude,
this match was full of New Japan spots. Come on. I know
this is not a New Japan spot. They have never done anything
just
this
saying with the
stupid.
timber tree of them all getting on a Kenny's back and then falling over to do the splash. I mean, it's all Kenny stuff that he does in his gimmick matches over there in New Japan.
Kenny Omega never did any of this type of shit in his matches in New Japan. Not as a singles. Maybe when he was still like
No, when he would be in
carrying
those
a broom
those-
out there.
Yeah, when he was
or-
in the multi-man matches, that's like not in
Yeah.
a singles match, but in the multi-man matches that were like this, he would goof off and do like they would do silly spots like this.
Well, here's the thing. Those matches are essentially house shows.
yeah.
So that's when you do that stuff. This is your TV program.
Your
This
fucking
is your
main
weekly,
event.
your weekly TV. And I don't care. Like, I just don't care. That is the dumbest. Everybody involved in that spot should quit right now. That is the fucking stupidest shit I've seen. And I see a lot of stupid shit on a daily basis watching wrestling because it's on 7 days a week and there's plenty of stuff to see. And not taking into account GCW and all those fucking backyard promotions and stuff that I don't watch. These guys should all know better and they should all be ashamed of themselves for that spot. The other thing that's even more important than that is that, to me, maybe it's just me, but I want to ask your opinion on it. I felt like Moose in this match was made to look pretty dumb and petty. Like, not like a superstar, not like a main eventer, but more like somebody that's just like, we don't know what to do, so we're just going to have you do the old, I'm not going to play with my
I'm
partners.
not going to be a part of this team.
Right. But it's like, it didn't even make sense then. Like, he walked away from a tag, but then came back in to get a tag later. It's like, if you're going to do that, then do that. And then if you're going to do that, if you're going to do the walk away spot, then that has to be it. You got to leave right then. You can't then just decide, I'll come back in. But
I don't want to tag you just yet.
yeah, okay, now I do. Well, what if you lost? We have to make it seem like there's a point to even having these matches. If there's not, remember, he's the one that walked in off screen, said, I'm in, and then left. Now, granted, he wasn't supposed to know that his opponent at Slammiversary was going to be his partner in that match. But even still, like, there's a better way to do this to make Moose come out looking like a better person and not an idiot than they did here. So I just felt like that was bad on whoever booked this. It's bad on their part for this booking, and there's just little simple tweaks that could have made it make sense and build a little more interest for Saban and Moose at Slammiversary. But as it is, he's standing there next to him on the apron. It looks like a teacher in a kindergarten class. It's just it's already like completely unbelievable that these guys could have a competitive match. So they don't need to do anything else to like bury the situation. And I just felt like they did. But did you feel the same? Like they made Moose look bad in this?
Yeah, I didn't like it when he pulled away. When Chris Sabin tried to go in for the tag and he just kind of walked away. Like it's like, all right, well, now your team already knows you're not there. So now here comes these guys fighting in the corner, and then the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega are going to get the upper hand, and it's just going to be it devolved into what it devolved into. It's essentially in this match, and I did like the final shot of the show where the Good Brothers and Kenny are celebrating in the ring, and Moose is just standing on the stage, and they're trying to get that shot so like you can see the Good Brothers and because you could tell the way they cut multiple times. They were trying to get that hard camera shot, but they couldn't, so they had to do the slight off kilter shot to be able to get Moose fully in the scene and everything. But it was still a great way to end the show, kind of with Moose fuming in the background, like I'm gonna get my hands on you, Kenny Omega, one way or another.
Yeah, but it's also like, if you really this man just embarrassed you, right? At your chance at becoming a champion, and like, you don't have that much heat with Chris Sabin as much as you would have with Kenny Omega. So just standing there and watching them beat him up because you got a match with this guy later, I'm sorry, I don't buy that. He should be furious at Kenny Omega, and he should fight all those guys by himself if that's what. It doesn't matter if he's a heel either, because it's not like a heel is about what you do, not like what the company tells you he's supposed to be. Like, just because they put him in situations where they want you to cheer for somebody else, that doesn't make you a heel. You're a heel because you do things that piss people off. So it doesn't matter if you're a heel naturally or not, or whatever you do. In this instance, if somebody wrongs you, if you got screwed over at a pay-per-view for your chance of bringing your company's championship back, and you're just going to stand there and watch them beat up some other guy, like, I don't care who that other guy is. Chris Sabin didn't do nothing to Moose as bad as the Good Brothers team did. So he should have not been just standing there watching it. That I understand what they were trying to say. I understand what they were trying to do, but it's wrong. It's just wrong. It's wrong-headed, and it doesn't serve any of the characters very well. I mean, I guess it serves the Don Callis' team fine because they get to beat people up. You know, I guess that's nice. But for everybody else that has to work there every week, not the best. So I don't know. Just not that into it. And I want better for Moose, but this is all part of what I've been saying, where it's like these guys don't, like, they're not going to pull the trigger on him for whatever reason. And this is more examples of it. Like, they won't even make him look good in a simple 6-man tag for their, for the main event of their weekly show. They can't even put Moose in a good light for that. You think they're really going to make this guy the champ especially after he signed a contract extension when he could have gone to basically anywhere and made a splash? I don't know.
It'll be the Jay Lethal of Impact Wrestling. And speaking of which, Impact Wrestling only with 69,000 viewers, the lowest ever for Impact Wrestling. Vet, we had up to 6 viewers tonight. Not even anywhere close to those Impact Wrestling numbers, but or this morning, if you want to say this morning,
they're close enough.
So go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you on Grindr, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, Black Planet, anywhere like that. I'm sure it's at Opinion Haver, right?
Yeah, it's Opinion Haver for all of those and more. Especially the more popular ones like YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any of those places. And of course, don't forget, just like I said at the top of the show, because I don't know what point everybody jumped in, but I will be for the foreseeable future co-hosting the Next Level Wrestling review with Big Ray. He was gracious enough to have me as a co-host, and Ben Hameen is able to, and sometimes Colin, when he's not giving people Independence pizzas, he's always welcome, because we're the real tag team that doesn't need Bully Ray's advice here. So you can see me every Wednesday morning at the Next Level Wrestling Review. I'm looking forward to working with Big Ray on a individual basis, and he's gonna get a little more time to talk on this show, because as much as I like to talk, I'm no soliloquizer like Ben Hameen. So Big Ray's gonna get a lot more of his shit in by design.
By design.
Bullet
points. He gets bullet points for his promos.
Right, yeah, and he only gets to say the bullet points, but now he's going to get to say the whole promo, so it's going to be exciting for fans of Big Ray to get to hear more of his takes on things rather than just
Big Ray has fans.
Where and whosoever they are, he has them, and they'll be able to hear more of him. And who knows? Maybe he'll create a fan base with being allowed to talk on the show now. So it's going to be really cool, and I'm looking forward to it. And Sonic, don't worry about offending any of the wrestlers. You're doing fine, bro. You're doing fine. We appreciate having you and everybody.
Still real
else
to
here.
me, damn it.
Yeah, yeah, and it's our mission to bring real back. That's what I want to do. It's a lofty goal.
Is that like bringing sexy back?
It's better than that. And so like I said, Next Level Wrestling Review at Opinion Haver everywhere. Before I forget, I want to throw a quick congratulations to virtual YouTuber Gower Gura for reaching 3 million subscribers. She is the fastest virtual YouTuber to reach such a milestone, and as YouTubers ourselves, Colin, we should strive for this type of following and numbers. If a little cute anime shark girl can do it, we can do it too. Maybe we'll get like little 2D live models of ourselves. Maybe that could get the count up from 6 a little bit. Maybe we can surpass the 69,000 viewers that Impact Wrestling got. That's something to shoot for. And
well, Vet, join me in showering her in guards.
Guards! More guards!
Get her.
Get her guards. Get that shark girl with 3 million subs.
That's right. Most subscribed virtual YouTuber in the world now.
That is dope. That is dope. We have to be the most subscribed pro wrestling virtual show in the world.
Yep. Don't forget, guys, like, comment, and subscribe.
Like,
That's what
comment,
we
and
do
subscribe. Hit the notification bell to make sure you guys know when we go live.
here. Mhm,
And
mhm.
make sure you subscribe, guys, and hit the like button so that not only on this
And
video, but it
subscribe.
goes up.
Leave a thumbs up and a
Right.
comment and subscribe.
And leave a comment and share it with your friends. Or as Aaron Stevens likes to say, if you like the show, tell a friend. If you don't, tell an enemy. I
No
thoroughly
better
enjoy
advice
that.
than that. Oh yeah, check out NWA.
That is true.
Because speaking of Big Ray, I don't want to prolong Colin's sleeping schedule here, but this is somewhat important, and it's still going to be like about half an hour shorter than our shows usually go. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Big Ray was asking about NWA. Where can I watch NWA? Well, I'll tell you where. On the Fight TV app.
Watchwrestling.la. Oh,
Okay,
what?
okay, yes, we all know that, but there's so many people that work at NWA that are closely connected to the Hameen Media Group family. We've got Aaron Stevens, as you said, right? But don't forget, we've also got
Red Rosser.
Is Fred Rosser part of Hameen Media Group?
I don't know.
I'm not just naming people that are on the show. I'm naming people that we're connected to. Velvet Sky
Yes, Velvet
of
Sky.
the Beautiful People podcast, color commentator, JTG, personal friend, Serena Deeb, personal friend, AEW superstar,
Genocide.
and former NWA champ. Genocide, from you've seen her on Light the Fuse. She does her run-ins. She's doing big things there. Who am I forgetting? There's at least one other person that's working at NWA. But if you want to support NWA, you go to the Fight TV app, and they have a button that you can subscribe, and I think it'll get you all their programming for the month. It's $4.99, not too much. I mean, that's one Starbucks coffee or one Little Caesars pizza that you can get a whole month of NWA shows for.
That stuff's terrible.
I'm just thinking of
Terrible.
price points. Colin, you know what, Colin? Just pull a Big Ray pre next level with the vet, and just keep your mouth shut, will you? Yeah. So
What did you just say to me?
if you can spare $5 a month to support all of our friends, that would be great. That's a great way to do it. If you can't do that, we understand, and you can still support them by watching whatever bootleg link Colin said earlier. But we're going with as Ben said, a no piracy clause on NWA in public. So that would be a great deal, and it's a good show. Like, I'm not just saying that. I was just watching a couple episodes before I hopped on here tonight to catch up, and they're doing lots of good old classic professional wrestling. Studio wrestling with stuff that the matches are good. They're exactly what they need to be. They've got a wide range of talent. They've got all kinds of talent. Like, they got big guys, they got smaller guys, they got lots of different women. They got a deeper women's roster than even Impact does. So, whatever you want, they've got a little something for you. It's 48 minutes without commercials. They do their own commercials, which are funny. They got legends like Austin Idol on there doing stuff. They got Ricky Morton. This is like, just check it out. Just check it out and see what you think. But that's the end of my shilling.
All right, guys. Well, you can catch me each and every week producing the A Show at patreon.com/the A Show, and over at twitch.com/ twitch.tv/ the A Show. It's fucking 3:48 in the morning. I need to go to sleep. And you can also find me
9 days from tonight
on the Impact Attack with my good buddy the Vet here
Hello.
on patreon.com/ Hameen Media Group. And as always,
goodbye, mwah, and good night.
Oh my God, it's so great.
Bang! Yes!
Yeah,